What is up, Jammies? Welcome back to another episode of Ricky's Ram Jam, presented by Barefoot Wine. After the Seahawks fell to the Packers on Sunday night, the Rams currently sit atop the division. However, there isn't too much time to celebrate because we still have 3 more games to go, and 2 of them are division matchups. Here's a snippet from Coach McVay's presser on Monday when asked how it feels to wake up in first place.
It doesn't change anything that we've talked about for the last handful of weeks. Unless the season ended today, it's all just temporary. And, we've got to continue to be one day at a time, one moment at a time, and one game at a time, like what we've been. I think it's a testament to the group to be able to handle some of the things that they've handled over the last few weeks. But all of it is not relevant unless we continue to do something about it. And the only thing that we can do is have a great week of preparation against a very challenging opponent who we have tremendous respect for.
Couldn't have said it better myself, but there's a reason why he's the head coach and I'm just the Rams podcast girl. All right, joining me in a minute to talk all things Rams is NFL Network Analyst Brian Baldinger. But first, it's time for the coin toss. Okay, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Okay, option 1. Rams defense get 3 sacks. I want Aaron Rodgers to actually see aliens. Option 2, a Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua touchdown. I want them both in the end zone at MetLife. Let me know below what you want. Option 1 or option 2. All right, joining me now is NFL Network analyst Brian Baldinger. Baldy, hello, how are you? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm like everybody else. I'm in the holiday spirit. Got my tree up. I'm trying to get some things wrapped and bought before next week, and then trying to get ready for, I don't know, we're already week 16, whatever it is. I'm getting ready.
It's crazy. Yeah, the grind doesn't stop, especially for you, and you're famous, for your Baldy's breakdowns. And I told you before we started recording how much I love watching them, and I know the players do too. As a former O-lineman, how fun was it to break down Kevin Dotson trucking through those 49ers defenders last week?
Well, I couldn't wait to do it. I couldn't wait. I mean, that's a lineman's dream right there, to get 2 knockdowns like that in the same play. I mean, if you get one, like you made the highlight reel, sometimes you have a little game you can play in your group, but you get 2. I mean, that puts you at the king of the hill. And in addition, I mean, Kevin had a great game too. In a day where, the conditions weren't very good to throw it, against a good front and some good linebackers. It was an impressive day by Kevin.
Yeah, I love how you broke down the smile too. You stopped the film and slowed down. I think Kevin is always such a smiley guy, which you wouldn't think by looking at him. So that was really fun. So no sacks the last 2 weeks against Buffalo and San Fran. How impressed are you with the way this Rams O-line has been playing as of late?
Well, I mean, they got a Vila back. They decided on Bo Limmer at center. So, it took a while, obviously. You go all the way back to preseason, everybody knows. I mean, they were really banged up, and they were playing a bunch of guys. But I feel like they've got their 5 now, and then the tight ends and receivers, and so I feel like whether it's protection or whether it's the run game right now, I feel like they've won 4 out of 5. Stafford hasn't thrown an interception in a while. I feel like it's all coming together, much like it did last year at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, you said the run game. Kyren Williams has been such a true workhorse, 29 carries in each of his last 2 games.
Yeah.
Talk about how well-rounded of a back he is, and also how he is in, picking up blitzes and pressures.
Oh, man, he's remarkable. I mean, I became a big fan of Kyren last year when he really got healthy and really, carried the run game a year ago. Like, he was just it was one game after another. I mean, Christian McCaffrey led the league in rushing, but Kyren led the league in rushing yards per game and over 100 a game. And he's just, he's just a workhorse, And you wouldn't think it because maybe his size, but blitz pickup last week, he was excellent. He's a great receiver. He's a great teammate. But, in those kind of conditions, it called for the run game. It's not sometimes how many yards run for. He ran for over 100, but sometimes it's just the volume of carries where you can really take the heat off of Stafford. You can stay on schedule. You can make them respect the run. Like, it's just and the offensive line loves it a lot more if you're running it than you are throwing it in some of these games. So, especially if a guy like Nick Bosa is out there. So, he's been impressive. I kind of nicknamed the Siren Kyren because that's what he does.
Yeah.
Whether it's touchdown runs or short yardage runs or first down runs, like he is a special, special player.
Yeah, he's a special guy too. Monday night, the Rams do this in partnership with Salvation Army, sort of like a shopping spree for kids
Yeah.
in need. And we go to Walmart and we have a gift card each, and we each have a kid. And I was talking with Kyren there too, and I told him, I was like, "Oh, Kyren, like you're on my family Christmas card this year," because there was a photo of me and him at training camp during this big, interview thing. And he was like, "Yeah, that's awesome!" Like so excited. He just is such a genuine guy. So I love to see that. He leads the NFL with 280 carries this season. He's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's the definition of workhorse back. You played
Right.
14 games, you got 280 carries. I mean, you're at 20 carries a game. That's about the most anybody can really carry. I don't care if you're Derrick Henry or Saquon. That's about the most that you can really handle without breaking down. He's right at that limit right now, but they need him. I mean, we'll see. Blake is kind of picked it up a little bit here of late, and so I think you need two. But I think they're in good hands in the run game with Kyren as a main back.
Yeah, you talked about it earlier about getting in the holiday spirit and putting the tree up and wrapping presents. When we talk about Mr. December, Matthew Stafford, since joining the Rams, he is 11-1 in December. What is it about him that makes him so good when it counts most?
Well, I mean, I think he's been in the league a long time, so he understands what his role is, and he knows that mistakes, especially in a game where no touchdowns are being scored, mistakes are at a premium. So he knows he's got to be good. But I think every season is different. Matt would tell you that. Sean McVay would tell you that. Most players would tell you every year is different. You got to kind of figure it out. And obviously they had the injuries to Cooper and Puka early on, injuries to the offensive line. But I feel like they've gotten healthy at the right time. And I feel like even before he won the Super Bowl, I think he knew that when you get to December and you're in a playoff stretch and a playoff hunt, that the quarterback position, you've got to play it at a premium. And I think sometimes you use September as the new August in these years because you don't play in preseason. And then you're trying to find a groove and trying to figure out what your identity is going to be. And, nobody knew that Puka could do what he did last year. Nobody knew that Kyren could do what he could do last year at the start of the season. But you figured it out. And, look, I mean, guys like Tutu Atwell and Demarcus Robinson have had big roles on this team. Higbee isn't a part of it right now. He's always been a big part of this offense. So the roles adjust a little bit. And I think, Matt, look, he's seen a lot of football. He's seen a lot of big games. And I think he knows that how important his role is if they want to get to where they want to get to.
Yeah, barring any setbacks too, Tyler Higbee may be playing, which would be really exciting to see him back out there since, the wild card game of last season. You tweeted about how good Kobie Turner has been in his second year. Like, what has impressed you most about the conductor?
Well, I mean, I know who Kobie trains with in the offseason. I know Pooty, and I know he's worked on his hands and some of the things that you saw last week in his 2 sacks. But more than that, I just think he understands blocking schemes, seeing that little transition between play action passes and a pass, recognizing screens. I think his overall recognition just keeps. I mean, he had a great rookie season, but I think his recognition has gotten a lot better. I mean, he's almost like the senior guy up there now,
right?
With the guys that they drafted. So, I mean, in the second year, I think he had a chance to kind of understand Aaron Donald's mentality all week long, getting ready for games. That can't help but rub off on you. I think he trains the right way. I think that, with Byron and him and Jared and the group and Braden, I mean, I think it's probably the best young group of defensive linemen in the league right now. And all of them have their strengths. And so, I mean, I just think they played really well together. And I thought as the season went on, I thought they would get better as a group.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk for a second the 1-2 punch of Jared Verse and Braden Fisk. Are you surprised at how easily they've been able to transition from college to the NFL?
A little bit I am, because it's such a different game than what they did at Florida State,
Right.
and at that level. Although they played really well together at Florida State, they ran a lot of twist stunts and things together, and so one fed the other guy. So I saw that. You see the effort that both of them play with, which is supreme. That helps you transition, knowing how hard you have to play in this game. How the screen game is the defensive lineman's game. They have to make those plays. They have to transition, retrace their steps, chase the ball. Like there's a conditioning component to it. There's a recognition component because, the run game is completely different at the NFL level than it is in college. It's so much more sophisticated in what teams do. So I think from that standpoint, I am surprised at how they don't seem to be as surprised. I mean, if you look at Aaron Donald his rookie year, he wasn't Aaron Donald his rookie year. Khalil Mack wasn't. Von Miller was. There's a lot of guys that weren't great their rookie years. It took him a year to figure it out. And I feel like these guys are ahead of the curve right now.
Yeah. So let's look forward to the Jets. The Rams go to MetLife for Sunday's game. How does this defense that has really come together, especially in December, keep Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams in check? I mean, the Jets they put a good game together. I mean, 135 yards and 2 touchdowns for Devontae Adams alone in the final 4 minutes last week.
Yeah, he had 9 catches for 198 yards, and starting. They're literally the first play of the third quarter went to Devontae for a first down. And you can almost hear they're losing at halftime to Jacksonville. Yeah, you can almost hear the conversation with Aaron and Tay going, listen, like we're not going to get beat. I'm just going to keep feeding you. And he did. I mean, every situation, he gave all the signals. Aaron led the Jets in rushing last week.
I know.
He's been a lot better since the bye week. He's moving a lot better. He ran 5 scrambles for 45 yards. 3 of them were first downs. He's moving better right now. But Garrett Wilson is still their leading receiver. I mean, he's the guy. So, look, they're playing good. They should have easily could have won. Going back to Thursday night game against Houston, they could have won every single game that they played since then. They couldn't finish. Right. They couldn't get off the field. They're a competitive team. Sauce Gardner hadn't had an interception forever. He finished the game with 1 last week. So you just have to anticipate that you're going to get the best of Aaron Rodgers. He knows he's disappointed, but I think he wants to play next year. He's got a contract. There's interviewing for general managers right now. I'm sure Aaron wants to stay with Devontae and Garrett another year. I'm sure he does. So, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I want to just put up the best possible games and the most wins I possibly can, and maybe play myself into another year with the Jets next year.
Yeah, Baldy, you're a thrill seeker. You shark dive, you windsurf, you do it all. If you had to pick someone on the Rams who would be the most fun to shark dive with, in the offseason, of course, who would you want to shark dive with on the Rams?
I'm probably Puka. Puka looks fearless to me. Like I feel like Puka would be a guy that would be fearless diving into shark-infested waters on the North Shore of Oahu.
Yeah, that would be fun. He always seems like he's down for a great time. I love that. Okay, Baldy, before I let you go,
hair. Let's face it, he's got great hair. We're all envious.
Imagine that.
We all want hair like that.
Flowing in the water. It would be beautiful. I'm going to give you 3 rapid questions, rapid fire before I let you go. Describe your perfect day, start to finish. Like, what is a Baldy dream day?
Well, like I love Mondays because Mondays is like, what's behind door number 1? Because I don't know what happened. I announce games on Sunday, so I don't know what happened in these games until I get to the film room. So if my perfect day would be starting like at 6 and just getting into these games and seeing what really took place, who stood out, what decisions got made, who screwed up, like seeing that, but then breaking in the afternoon for an hour and just jumping into the ocean, which is right behind me right now. And
I love it.
Just do a little thrill seeking, take my little GoPro down there, maybe take a little gun with me, see if there's any little lobsters underneath some rocks or something. see if there was any big. So doing that to sort of recharge myself and then finish, for another 8 hours in the film room. And eating as much meat as I can since I'm a carnivore. So like just all the great ribeye steak that I can get my hands on.
Sounds awesome.
And maybe washing it down with a big bowl of, Cabernet at the end.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Count me in for that day. Which celebrity would you like to switch lives with for one day and why?
Best celebrity to switch. Who's living a great? It looks like Matt McGonaghy's having a great life. Like he's on sidelines, of college football games. He's teaching cooking lessons. He's in Hollywood. Matt looks like he's having a pretty good life. I wouldn't, I wouldn't mind trading places right there.
All right. So an iced coffee on a snowy day or a hot coffee in a heat wave?
I'm a black coffee drinker. I like it hot, although, I'll drink an iced coffee if somebody puts it in front of me. But I'll take the hot coffee on a hot day. I'll do that for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate.
I'm a bean guy.
Yeah, I love it. Baldy, thank you so much for your insight. I know the Rams are looking forward to, the Jets game and then 2 divisional games at home to end this season, and it's been a fun one.
He's got to win the NFC West now, I think the Rams have as good a chance as anybody, especially after what Green Bay did to Seattle. So it looks wide open to me.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know the Rams have their heads down, and we got to get to New York this weekend. So I appreciate you stopping by and all your insight as always.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Eric. See you.
There he goes. That does it for this week's Ricky's Ram Jam. The Rams are hot, and we continue to forge on. The Rams head to the Meadowlands, like we talked about, and then we've got 2 final games at home. So if you're able, make sure you can get to SoFi. You're not going to want to miss those games. Ooh, I am so excited. Okay, we'll catch up after the Jets next week, but until then, you know what to do. Let's ram it.